When it comes to doing the reverse bay park, the simplest way to fail this is by going into two bays and not realizing. So let's say I look around and then I reverse back and I end up in between two bays like now. So some learners will leave the car like this, but this is gonna get you a serious fault. Easy way to rectify this is by using your mirrors first of all. If you can't see the lines in your mirrors, you're probably not in the bay properly. Another way, just open the door, have a look, and you can see straight away that if you can't see the line next to you, then you're probably not in the bay as well. If you really don't know where your car is, just secure the car, tell the examiner what you're doing, come out and check, and then correct it. So this is an easy way to correct, easy thing to correct. So right now I'm in between two, so I can use either the left or the right. I'm gonna go towards the right because there's less things going on over there. The cars are on my left, so those cars are on my left, so I can go that way a bit more. Check this side, steer that way, and then I wanna get my car straight over this side before I reverse. I wanna get it straight-ish. This way, when I reverse back now, it's gonna be much easier. I just need to make small adjustments to get inside the bay. So looking around, I don't need to worry about using two hands. I can just use one hand. It's more relaxed. Even put my hand here if I want to. Makes it nice and easy. Yeah, looking everywhere. Then once I'm in, I can then stop the car and secure it. Another easy way to fail this is not realizing how far back you're going. Well, some learners will go back nicely at the beginning. Everything's going great and everything's going good. But then when they should be stopping, they don't. And then, ooh, what's that? They've hit the back. It's too late now, you failed. You should never hit the back, because if you do that, it shows that you're not really aware of how big the car is and how far back into the bay you are. That could be someone's car that you just hit now. To avoid that, so this wing mirror here, I'm gonna use that. When I reverse, I'm gonna stop once this wing mirror is above the line in the front there. Once it's there, I know that my car is in enough and it's not too far back. I can also use the mirrors as well, or I can just stop the car. If I'm really unsure how far back the end of the bay is, I can stop the car, open the door, have a little look, and then that way I can then know. If I still don't know, come out and check, and then I'll have a better idea of how far the back of the bay is. Just like going back too far, you can also fail for not going back enough. So if you go back and then you leave your car sticking out the bay, let's say you finish like around here, yeah. So now I know I'm outside the bay because I'm using my reference point. The line's over here when it should be underneath my wing mirror. That's how I know I'm definitely out of the bay. The front of my car is sticking out. So if you don't rectify this, this is going to be a serious fault, because again, it's showing you're not aware of how big the car is, and you're now sticking out and potentially cars going past you now, and you're causing a nuisance because now you're in the way of everybody. So same remedy for this one. The same way to kind of correct this is just using the mirror, make sure that I've looked around, make sure it's safe, and then once it's above the wing mirror, I know that I'm back enough, and I'll stop there. You might start reversing and then start turning into a bay where there's already a car in there, and I've seen learners do this and they've realized too late, and then by the time they've realized, the examiner has stopped them, and that's a failure. So to make sure this doesn't happen, make sure you're counting the lines properly. It's 3 lines from the bay that you want. If you somehow still manage to get it wrong, you can still correct it before it's too late. So if you see your car going towards the other car, just stop it, you look around, go forward, and maybe even choose a different bay completely that's nowhere near that car if possible. And then this way, when you look around now and reverse, you're nowhere near the other car, and you can do the maneuver without worrying about smashing into that car that's parked over there. Yeah, that way you're less likely to get serious for that. You're not allowed to go all the way across, so you should be parking and finishing in this bay, but some learners will go across this line and try to finish over here. You're not allowed to do this. You're gonna fail for doing that. You need to make sure that you are finishing on the first bays. Treat the line in the middle as a wall and don't go over it. So instead of just checking here and then driving out, which you will probably get a fail for this because you haven't done your proper checks, you need to make sure that before you move out, you're checking your mirror, checking this mirror, checking over your shoulder, and then if it's safe, then you can move out, only when it's safe to do so. When you stop behind the car like this, you notice I've got lots of room between me and the car. So examiners will usually get you to park or get you to stop like this before you start the maneuver. And the mistake some learners make is they waste this space. So instead of going out straight away into the road, what they'll do is they'll drive forward first, and then at the last second try to turn away, and this way they're going to get too close to the car. You're going to fail like this if you get too close to the car. Even if you don't touch the car, if the examiner feels that you're too close or that they have to intervene, you're going to fail the test because you're getting too close. So instead, what you should do is, once you're ready to come out, make sure you're checking over your shoulder and then steer early, and then get your car positioned next to the car you're parking next to. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So once these guys have gone past, checking over my shoulder, see my steering's already turned, I'm using my clutch control to control my speed, and then now I would go beside the car. This way I'm not too close and I'm not gonna cause any issues to this car or for myself. And to know that you're far enough away, just imagine this person's opening their door and leave enough space for them to have their door open. So like now if they've opened the door, there'll be enough space for them to do that. If I'm so close that they can't open the door, then you're most likely going to be too close to the car. So just imagine this car's door open, and if there's enough space for them to do that, you should be far enough away. Now when it comes to actually reversing back, another mistake learners make is they move around when there's other cars about. So if this car's going past us, I'm supposed to be stopped here, let them go past first and then carry on. But what a lot of learners will do sometimes is they'll just reverse anyway, even if there's cars around them. You're going to get serious for observation here for that. So you need to make sure that you stop for any vehicles that are going past, anything near you, even pedestrians that are close by, cyclists, anyone going past, make sure you stop for them. So when the car gets close enough, we stop, let them go past, check around, and then carry on your maneuver. If you go so far back that you actually go onto the pavement and mount the curb, this is going to be a problem, especially where there's a dropped curb. When you're doing your parallel park and then you're reversing back, and if you feel a nudge or a bit of resistance and your car is not going back anymore, don't force it over the curb, because the reason why it's struggling to go back is because the curb is holding it from going back. But if you use enough force, if you bring the clutch up enough, eventually it's going to go over the curb, and then this is where you're going to get a serious fault, because you're now mounting the pavement, which is not a great idea. Another mistake that learners make is finishing off way too wide from the pavement. Yeah, and the reason why a lot of learners do this is because they're using the car in front as a guide. So they'll use that car and then they'll try to straighten up their wheels based on what this car in front of us is saying. You can't really judge how far you are like that. A good way to make sure that you're not too wide is using the small mirror to judge how close you are to the curb. So instead of using this car in front of me here, I'm using this mirror on my left. I'm also looking around as I'm doing that. And then that way, I can tell when the car is coming in close to the curb, and then I can straighten up my wheels and then stop once I'm happy that I'm parked up nicely. And if you're finishing wonky, you will see that the mirror, the image in the mirror is not straight. It's not parallel. It should look like this in the mirror, nice and straight. That's how you know it's not wonky. When you're asked to do a right reverse, what you don't want to do is cut in front of this car. That's going to get you a serious fault straight away. The examiner will probably brake for you, but it would be a dangerous fault actually. So don't do that. If there were any cars coming, I would wait here, and then once they've gone past, check my mirror and then start going towards the right.